guys! So today I am going to be coming back to you with another Travel Tip Tuesday, and I'm so excited about this Travel Tip Tuesday because I actually have a big announcement for you guys. So I am going to be moving to Washington, D.C. and this is something that I have been dreaming about for a really long time. So big news, I actually just submitted my master's thesis last week. It took me all summer to write it, and it was 20,000 words, so it ended up being about 65 pages double-spaced. It was so tremendously difficult to write that paper, but it was so amazing, the feeling like finally shipping it off to Ireland and finally like acknowledging that I'm done, like I'm done with my master's thesis, and so it's time now to like figure out the next step. So it's, you know, important to find this balance between like, okay, so like what's my next step, but also like acknowledging that like I accomplished something great. So I'm here today to talk about that next step, and that next step for me is moving to Washington, D.C. So the topic of this video is actually going to be all about transitions. So in life, we're always going to have lots of different transitions that we have to go through, but it's important to figure out exactly like how to handle those transitions gracefully and how to feel comfortable within those transitions. So for me, whenever I go through a really big transitions, I like to make sure that I have all of my comforts that make me feel like I have my routine down, so that way like my my personal life doesn't get so disrupted, because transitions like are difficult. Like they just are for everyone. And so it's important to figure out like what is something that like you do not want to sacrifice. So like some people, it's like they need to get 8 hours of sleep. Some people, they need to have certain foods. Some people, they you know, need to make sure they have their room all set up. So for me, I definitely like to make sure my routine is together. So one thing that I like to do whenever I transition is to make sure that I pack all of different food items that are important to me. So like, for example, like I am a vegan. So it's always really difficult whenever I move to find like the right grocery store and to make sure they have getting enough protein. So like that's always a big thing for me, because whenever I get there, I'm like, well, I don't know where the grocery store is, so like I don't know how to get all of the vitamins and minerals that I need. So whenever I move, I try to like pack maybe some like granola bars or some like powders, like protein powder. Like I love like coconut vegan protein powder, so I always like to pack that and make sure I have that. So it's just really important that you find what makes you comfortable, and that could be as simple as you love to read, so you always have like books ready to go for you, like if you're going somewhere abroad, like you have a Kindle. You know, having accessibility to things like that will make you feel more comfortable, because ultimately that will make the transition go a lot smoother. So not only with our comforts, but there are many things to deal with transitions. You know, making sure you're prepared mentally is another big issue that you have with like transitions. So for me, I love change. Like I thrive with change, but counteract to that, I also like get stressed out with change. And these last 6 months have been nothing but change. Like honestly, just to open up to you guys like a bit, I've been going through a lot of like personal changes in my life. Like I've been having to reevaluate a lot of relationships that I've been in, with friendships, and it's just, you know, important that you know, transitions are always going to happen in your life, but it's really important to acknowledge like who you are and how people benefit you in your life, you know? So for me, like that was one transition that I've been going through a lot with like my life in that way. And then in addition to that, I've also had a lot of transition happen in my external. So, you know, I moved from Ireland, and then this summer I was living in New York at home with my parents in Woodstock, and I was writing my thesis, so that was a transition. Finishing up my master's degree was a transition, and now I am going to be moving to Washington, D.C. So in Washington, D.C., I'm going to be actually staying with my cousin, which is incredible. He's the best. Shout out, Joey. You're the bomb. I'm so excited, though, to, like, be staying with him, because he's going to introduce me to all of his friends, and then I have, like, old friends that I have from D.C. living there already, so I'm really excited to get established and to have a routine. And it's insane to me because, you know, we're always going to be changing in life, but it's crazy to me to think that I'm finally going to be settling down or establishing roots. But the fact of the matter is that's not exactly what I'm doing, because to me that would be losing my wanderlust. That would be losing who I am as a person. Like, that is never, ever, ever, ever going to go away with me. But with you know, this next transition, it's like it's different this time, because I am going to be like, I want to have like an established place so that I can use that established place to travel. And so that's kind of what this transition is for me. It's finding that established place, a place that, like, for once in my life, like, I can call home. Because I've been a nomad for the past, like, as long as I can remember, I guess since, like, before college even. Like, I've just never had, like, a place to, like, put my stuff and, like, you know, establish like a routine. And I'm so excited to, like, have that finally, to have that routine. And you know, I feel like, if anything, the past few years have been nothing but transition. So it's kind of exciting to, like, have more of stability, but then at the same time, like, have a job that can, like, send me all over the world, so I don't have to lose, you know, that wanderlust aspect of me. Because in transitions, I think we thrive. And I think it's important to think about what types of transitions are best for you. So some people, that's traveling. Some people, that's making new friends. Some people, that's trying new things. So it's always important to challenge yourself, and it's always important to have transitions, because honestly, if you're just sitting and you're not challenging yourself in any way or going through any sort of transition, like, what are you doing? Like, there should always be a goal you have. There should always be something that you're striving toward, reaching for, because life gets boring. Like, if you don't have something to challenge yourself, like, what's the whole point? We have such a short amount of time on this earth, and it's so important to acknowledge the things that make you passionate, acknowledge the things that you're striving for and that you want to accomplish and achieve. And once you reach that, you go to the next thing and the next thing. It should always be, you know, exciting, because, you know, we need to always be constantly, like, achieving our goals, because it makes us feel alive. And I think and going with this idea of transitions, I think it's important to acknowledge the bigger picture of who we are as people. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately in my meditation and yoga classes that I've been attending. And, you know, there's two big questions that you should be asking yourself, especially when you're going through times of transitions. And those two questions are, who are you as a person, and what is your purpose? So who are you, for the first question? It's really important to think about not what you do, not the activities you do that define you, not what your job is, but who are you? Now take a few moments to think about that, and think about maybe 3 words that describe who you are. And that's challenging. It might even be hard to think of a singular word that describes who you are. But I figured out one word. I haven't figured out my other 2 yet, but one of the words that I think describes me is passionate. I think that's one of my words. So I challenge you guys to think about what are some words that define who you are. And then the second aspect was, what are you passionate about? Like, what makes you excited? Like, so for me, I'm figuring that out, and I think that's what this next transition is all about. It's all about that, and I think it's really interesting to see if you guys can think about that aspect too. You know, what are you? What are you all about? What is your purpose? What is your purpose in life? And I'm really excited to figure out mine, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest transitions I've ever had in my life, even though it's not flying halfway across the world. I think this time it's almost more internal, because I think I've never had a job that I've truly been passionate about. I think that I've done jobs so that I can travel, and I think for the first time ever, I want to climb, you know, a ladder. I want to get to the top. I want a new challenge. Like, traveling, I got that. Like, I know how to do that. I could do it in my sleep. Like, I get it. I know it's like, it's still exhilarating. There's always still going to be challenges, but like, I know how to do that. I'm good at that. I want another challenge and another way of having the possibilities to travel. So it's really a huge transition in my life right now, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. And so I really hope you guys like this conversation that we had about transitions, and I hope that I could be of some help, or that you guys could relate to me on some aspects of your own transitions that you're going to. Please feel free to leave a comment below of maybe some of the transitions that you're going through right now. I'd love to hear from you guys, and maybe we could start a chat, conversations about, you know, different transitions that we're all going through, and be a support network for each other I think it's really important as women and as people to reach out to each other and help guide each other through all the transitions that we have in life. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for following this Travel Tip Tuesday and my channel. I really appreciate all the support. Don't forget to press that subscribe button down there and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your support. And I'll be back next week with another Travel Tip Tuesday. And also, don't forget to stay tuned because I am going to be filming tons and tons of videos about DC, tons of videos about figuring out what my what challenges I face next in DC, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with the ride of my new job, my new house, my new life. It's going to be amazing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.